Hello, everyone. This is our second private table read of Sentinels. Here's the brief background of this. We started this show maybe 2.5 years ago with a group of high school kids, girls, and we said to them, hey, if you were in a Jewish musical, what would you do? How would you do it? And over a series of focus groups, they came up with, we want to show different decades, showcasing different costumes, different music styles, different dance, different hairstyles, and the way different people talk. We said, great, what a great idea. Now let's come up with a story behind this. And we couldn't. And we tried it again. And again, then Nick and I said, let's just leave this one sit for a while. So we left it sit. And about 4 months later, Nick said to me, can we just bring this back? It's such a cool idea. So we did. We got a different group of high school girls. And we asked the same questions. And we came up with a storyline for the thing. In a high school, it wasn't working. So we put it aside. And then about 4 months after that, Nick said to me, can't we re-look at this again? And we didn't. I said, well, we have to do something different. And we said, what if they're college girls? Now, all of a sudden, the floodgates open, right? So what if they're college girls? So we started working on this again. Then one day I woke up and went, what if this were a secret society? That's like the men's group at Harvard. Well, then that was it. That was it. So we then hired 5 young women from Loyola. And over a series of 5 weeks, we paid them each, and we did a brainstorming session for each decade. And their goal was to find a real live event in that decade and create a story. What would happen in this fictitious place, dome room? And we did this, and then Nick and I zoomed in on many years and years, and we kind of combined this here. But they were the inspiration for every one of these decade stories. Every one of these decade stories. It surprised me, is they just wanted to really do, nitty gritty and gutsy stuff. And I just kept saying, didn't we do something with a little humor? We just can't have all these really heavy topics in this thing. And then I actually reached out to Marilyn and I said, what do we do? And she said, you have to find the humor in a really serious topic. So all of a sudden, actually, she came up with the pea in the cup idea. That was her. Because we just couldn't figure that scene out. Anyway, so then we wrote a whole outline like we usually do for our shows. And we said, so we're going to hire 5 women playwrights. Each of them is going to write one scene. Marilyn's going to write the beginning and the end. And we gave everything to Marilyn, and she said, I don't want to do the whole thing. So if you don't know Marilyn, let me just jump right to that. Marilyn is an award-winning playwright. Her plays have been produced all over the world. She's one of the founders of Writers Theater in Glencoe with Michael. Yes. Sarah Gable is here tonight. Sarah Gable is a director, an actress, a longtime faculty member at Loyola University, and has been very, very good and helpful to me in my career. And I asked her to come today and do the talk back, the feedback session after we read the show. We're going to read the show straight through, take a break to go pee, and then come back and do a 15-20-minute feedback session about the show. So this thing takes place in an abandoned room above a regular legacy building, right there. You got a little light in the corner there, and that's an abandoned dome room that was used for, for a telescope, for an astronomy. That's actually Loyola University, and that's a real story. We, of course, faked it, put it in Milwaukee. We don't have to pay any royalties. Got permission. But when I went to school at Loyola in the 80s, it was an old storage. And you'd have to go up these awful stairs. And the very first time I went up in those stairs, there was a girl in front of me. And we had to get crew hours for cleaning it. That was what we had to do. So we got up there, and she got to the top stairs, and she went, oh no, there's something in this room. I feel something in this room. A true story. So that's why we put it in the show. There was all this weird graffiti on the walls and there was pigeon poop everywhere. Yes, but that's where they, in the eighties, what they used for the story. Or, what it was, anyway. So that's it, right? Tim O'Connell, associate producer, Sarah Gable, who's our moderator today, Marilyn Campbell Lowe is our playwright, Nick Reinhardt, who is our assistant producer, Kim Sherman, who is our composer.
I'm watching now. Been busy, so I'm recording it, and I'll send it to her.
And let me see if I can do this. Amy Kleiman here, and she helped us out with a bunch of shows. She just did our Big Fat Jungle Gym.
That's the two jungle gyms.
That's the two Jungle Gyms. Anastasia Arnold, Jungle Gym. Her mother and I did children's theater 35 years ago. And when I first hired her, I didn't know that.
No idea.
I didn't know that. True story, true story. And by the way, she was a kick-ass monkey. And she was a kick-ass cheetah. And Sheridan Smith, who came and helped us out with the moment. So thanks for being here. Brittany Brown, who I want to worship her feet because she just did this kick-ass production of Merrily We Roll Along.
Oh, great.
And we could not keep our eyes off of her. Unbelievable, unbelievable. And Maria Mate, thank you very much for joining us. And you've done several things with us. You did Land of Forgotten Toys and the moment with us too. Did you do the moment stuff with us?
No,
No. Well,
maybe in another life.
thank you for being here. That's it, right? Good, right on time. Let's take just a minute to dive in. Tim is reading stage directions.
Is there a video before the first scene?
There is not. In between the scenes, we have test videos we will play. And I will just dive over it. This is mine, right?
Yes.
No, Marilyn has mine. Have you already written it? No, that's okay. This is actually. Well, let me say one other thing about this cast. So we developed the show so that if you have a large community theater, you have a large college, you can do this with 30 women. Every scene could be different. One man, 30 women. You could do it with 20, you can do it with 25. Probably the ideal is 10, 5 and 5, so we have time for costume and hair changes and all that stuff. But it could be done with 5 if it had to be done. So you all get to play a whole bunch of characters. Dive into them. Really, we gotta hear if this works. We gotta hear if the scenes work. The people that have done this reading before know what I'm talking about. Don't be afraid. You cannot be you can't overact in this. Because she's got to hear if it works or not. So does Sarah. Their job is to see what works, what doesn't work, what needs, does the concept work? So try to find differences in the multiple characters that you're playing. Okay? Anybody have any questions?
This way to say that, can we learn to like? I know each scene is not that long, so we need to feel you and say, oh, I get it.
All right. Let's start.
Sentinels, scene 1, December 19, 1999, The Brink. Maeve speaks into the microphone.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Sound, squeaky mic. She taps the mic a few times. Loud audio.
Testing.
She flips on the camera lights. Lights up on stage to reveal a room at Brooks University, Milwaukee, filled with junk, a legacy computer, ratty costumes on a track, road sports equipment. The walls are covered with graffiti, math equations, hieroglyphics, Latin phrases. Maeve is setting up the lights for filming and testing the audio. She positions the lights.
Does this work?
Perfect.
How long do you think you'll before you're ready? They'll be here in a minute.
Almost done. I just wish I knew a little more about why I'm here.
All will be explained. But for now, just be prepared. I have no idea how they're going to react when they see you in this space, much less that you're the first male who's been there in 50 years.
Sounds ominous.
It could be. I'm just warning you to go with the flow.
I'll follow your lead.
He crouches down to adjust some cables, so he is temporarily hidden from view. Katie enters. She doesn't notice him or the lights or equipment at first.
Hey, Maeve. Seen the deluxe today?
She holds up the school newspaper and splash across the front page of the headline. She reads it out loud.
Lux to close at end of term. It's official.
She slams the paper on the table, then notices the light in the equipment.
What's all this?
Michael stands up.
Don't
She puts her hands up.
you? Are we being robbed? How did you get in here? Have we been found out?
Put your hands down, Katie. You're such a drama queen.
There's a man in here, Maeve. I think that requires some drama.
Calm down. There's a perfectly good explanation.
Well, there better be, because this has never happened before.
Well, desperate times require desperate measures.
I get it, but it doesn't explain what he, with a capital He, is doing here under our sacred dome, while it's still standing.
Okay. Cool your jets, Katie. This is Michael.
Hi, Katie.
He's here because I thought he could help.
Why? How?
Ashley enters and crosses to Katie.
Holy shit! You seen the lame article in the deluxe today? Total whack job. We're gonna lose everything. I'm just starting my master's here. Will my credits transfer, do you think?
Katie sadly points to Michael.
What the fuck is a man doing in here? Come on, Freakazoid, I can take you. They don't call me Queen of the Warrior Princess for nothing.
One drama queen, check. One warrior princess, check. Only 2 more to go, Michael, and you'll have Metasol.
Metasol? Am I living in an alternate universe right now?
Unfortunately, no. We're in this one, and this one's the one we've been sold out. That's why I invited Michael here.
You invited? Without anyone else's permission?
You just took it upon yourself to invite a man in here. That's pretty bold. Even for you. There better be good reason.
The city of Milwaukee has purchased Lux University, and they're tearing it down in 9 months and putting a sports stadium in its place. Is that reason enough?
How could making a man in here help? Please, enlighten us.
Look, let's wait for Elizabeth and Grace to get here, and I'll explain the whole thing to everyone. I am really trying.
The most trying person I know.
Very funny, Katie.
Elizabeth and Grace enter. They're good friends. They also have the deluxe.
Hey, Sentinels, have you seen the deluxe?
They see Michael and stop dead in their tracks. Elizabeth drops the paper in the book. They look for an answer.
We're on candid camera, right?
Am I dreaming?
More like a nightmare.
The only nightmare is that Lux is going under the wrecking ball. And this represents the end for us. The end of our story. If we don't do something, that is.
But why the man? Sorry, Michael, I'm not male bashing. Don't take offense.
Don't take it.
He makes documentaries. He's one of the best around, and he lives right here in Milwaukee.
Oh, that's your brilliant idea. You mean to put our secrets out there for the world to see? How could that possibly happen?
I'm with Liz, especially telling it all to a male. No outsider has ever been in one of our meetings. In fact, no outsider has ever even heard of us before. What's the man doing in here?
Michael, would you excuse us for a minute? There's a vending machine in the hall. Have a cup of coffee, and I'll come and get you when we're ready.
Of course.
The exits.
You should have cleared it with the rest of us. Everyone has to be in agreement before we commit to anything. It's in the bylaws. I have a photographic memory, remember?
Well, there has been a man in here before.
As if.
My great grandfather was a janitor here in 1945, and my great aunt Marge was a founding mother of the Sentinels. She's a mythic lesbian diva in our family. We think she was the original Rosie the Riveter.
What? How cool is that?
Rumor has it that my great grandfather bought her a teddy bear on Valentine's Day and hid it in a secret cupboard along with a bottle of rum.
She walks over to the secret cupboard, opens it, puts her arm way in, and takes out the bear. Who's very scruffy, with no clothes.
Hey, how do you know about that cupboard? Nobody knows that until their second year. You never mentioned anything about your past connections, and please be careful with that bear. I wanted to get into the group on my own merit, and I did. Right?
Unbelievable, Katie. But not surprising. Okay, back to the issue at hand. It better be good.
Give her a chance, Grace.
Thanks, Katie. Now, I know you all understand that this closing represents the end for us. I mean, when I think of all the women that have been working in this secret sacred dome since 1945, and now all that will be lost with the wrecking ball, not on my watch. That's why I invited him here.
You should have told us.
Well, we're running out of time, Elizabeth. We're about to get kicked out.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Stop clowning, Grace. This is serious.
I know it's serious, but if I don't laugh, I'll cry.
So what's the brilliant unapproved plan?
We make a documentary.
A documentary?
Wait, hear me out. We make a documentary that tells our story to the world.
To the world?
Yes, the world. The Dome is a diary of over 200 incredible women who dreamed here and then took action. Just ordinary women doing extraordinary things. God, I'm getting weepy. It never happens.
So how is telling all our secrets going to save the dome?
There's no saving the building, Maeve. The city of Milwaukee has already made the deal. There's too much money at stake. Who cares about an old abandoned dome covered in graffiti?
Someone might, if they hear our amazing story. Also, we don't have to save the entire building, just the dome. We could preserve it somehow, get a museum interested like Judy Chicago did with the dinner party, raise money from the dock and figure it out.
You're serious?
Obviously, she's serious, right? I think it could work. At least we should give it a try. What do we have to lose?
Nothing. We've already lost. Don't say that. We haven't lost, not yet. We have 9 months to figure it out. Besides, this group only exists because women persevered. Always remember, November 14th, 1917. We have so many role models to look up to. We can draw on their strength, stand on their shoulders, and save our beloved dome. I feel it.
Okay. Let's say we go along with the documentary idea. I'm not saying I am, but then what?
Everything is kept very hush-hush until the premiere. Premiere? Yes. All the PR will be about an on-campus female secret society that has been operating anonymously out of the condemned Lux University dome since 1945.
Still not convinced, but I'm willing to consider it.
Thanks, Liz. It's something. Grace?
Well, I'm not 100% sold on trusting it all to a man, but it seems we don't have much choice.
He really is very good. I'm a fan. I honestly couldn't believe our luck when I found out he actually lives in Milwaukee.
It sounds like we all have come to an agreement. Like we should have in the first place, babe. Everyone agrees?
Aye.
Opposed?
Not opposed, but please record my reservations.
Motion carried.
Wonderful. Thank you for trusting me.
Oh, we trust you, just not sure about him.
Now, before we call him back, and since we've already voted on my #1 agenda item, can we just skip the formalities and spend our last meeting trying to put the pieces together? But here we are agreeing to make a documentary and none of us knows the scope of it all. I mean, look at all the math equations and hieroglyphics.
We never wrote much down.
We're a secret society with an emphasis on secret. We kept an oral history going, but truth has a funny way of turning into myth over time.
Does anyone know who drew that cartouche on the dome or what it means? I've wondered about that for a long time.
Why didn't you just ask Doofus? I know who inscribed that there. She lives on in our lore. She's the great Dot Valentine, one of the most famous female archaeologists of the 20th century. The daughter of a fireman from Sister Bay, Wisconsin, doing that gives me goosebumps.
So many stories still left to uncover, and all of it could just be erased.
Erased like Hatshepsut. Hot shit. Who? Hatshepsut, the female Egyptian pharaoh. That's her cartouche etched there.
Female pharaoh, did you say?
I'll tell you later. In fact, look her up. We have more pressing things to do right now, like saving our stories.
You're right. There's been so many over the decades. I don't know all of them either, but one thing I do know is that they were all extraordinary. And even if we don't succeed in saving our beloved dome, they can't erase the reverberations of decades of our actions. That lives on, right?
Wait a minute. Sensing something. A secret, powerful energy. I see dead people.
Oh, you're a charmed one now, aren't you? One of the Hallowell witches. Which one?
The only one, Shannon Doherty, of course. To the power of 3.
You mean to the power of 5.
Why 5 members only? What's the root of that?
5 is a magic number.
Speaking as the astrologer of this group, I know that the number 5 is related to personal freedom, independence, and individualism. I'm sure our founding mothers thought about that number 5 very carefully before making such a crucial decision that's affected us for decades.
I always wondered about those inscribed Roman numerals on the dome. What do those dates represent? They go from 55 to 1500. It's a mathematical problem that I should be able to figure out with my major brain, but I'm 110% verklempt.
Isn't it strange how we've lived under all this history and just took it for granted? Never asked a lot of questions about how it actually all got here until now that paradise is being paved over to put up a parking lot. Where did that one come from?
It's Joni Mitchell, you goof.
My Nana played her albums over and over and over and over and over again. She's in my DNA, I guess.
Her voice is still so strong. I mean, I love Whitney Houston and the Bangles, but
I know what you're going to say. Feels like it's all slipping away and somehow with the dome.
it felt like we were almost winning for a minute there. Moving forward. Maybe even getting a woman elected president in the new millennium.
Every time we seem to get close to real power, we're branded bitches these days. We've gone from kicking ass to showing our ass in 5 years. What happened?
It's 1999 and we've been officially bitchified, ladies. Officially. And we didn't even know it was happening. How did we miss that?
Is bitchification even a word?
It is now.
I sure hope the young ones behind us will fight as hard as we.
I hope they have the heart for the long haul, because the way things are going, it seems to be getting harder for us instead of easier. With a third wave, for pity's sake. Will there be a fourth? Not sure anymore.
Don't be cynical, Katie. Of course there will.
Hope you're right. I would hate to think all this effort didn't get us very far. Do we know if any women's teams will even play in that stupid sports arena, let alone get equal pay?
I'm sure all those big businessmen are making lots of money, boys and their toys.
Maybe Y2K will shut the whole thing down at the stroke of midnight. Oh, that would be sweet.
Okay, I'm gonna get my,
Wish everything could stay the same.
like my Nana always says, the only thing you can count on is change.
I hate change.
My Nana would also say, you're too young to say that.
Ashley Edwards with Michael.
Okay, ladies, any questions for Michael before we get underway? Oh, yes, I have a few questions. Why exactly are you willing to take on this project?
It sounded vague, but interesting. I have to admit, I was intrigued.
Oh, it's much more than just interesting.
What? To my credit, I have a daughter at Princeton. She's a double major in biology and physics. She's your age, and she is, if I may say so myself, da bomb.
Does your daughter know know you're using language like that?
I'm a total embarrassment to her, my bad.
Now that we've all agreed to let you film our story, Michael, we just have a few more questions.
Shoot.
Are you willing to swear to secrecy at least until the premiere or until we go public?
Not exactly sure what I'm swearing to, but okay. No murders involved, I hope.
No murders, but plenty of information that no one knows except us. The 5 of us sitting here, we are asking you to keep our secrets until the documentary is presented. Do you swear?
Of course. I mean, yes, my lips are sealed. You can trust me.
We don't have a choice but to trust you.
Do you like puzzles, Michael?
I do. Probably why I'm a documentarian.
Okay. What did the polio vaccine, putting a man on the moon, the first woman elected ahead of a Muslim state, and the first Black woman to sing at the Metropolitan Opera have in common?
Got me there.
None of these events would have happened without this room and the women who have spent time in it.
This room is living history.
Only no one knows it.
It all sounds so mysterious.
It is mysterious and magical.
It's never been told, and we feel this might be our last chance to tell it.
We are gifting you our story. I hope you understand what you're receiving.
Well, I do have a few questions of my own, I have to admit. Secret society, working in secret since 1945, and no one knows about it. How is that even possible?
It's possible because it happened. We have 54 years of secrets to share, our triumphs and our tears. We've guarded it and protected it, and what I want to know is, will you guard and protect it?
As the father of a daughter and a sworn feminist, I am honored to help bring your story on to life on film and promise to guard it and protect it. Shall we shake on it? Good. Now let's get the chair set up.
The women join in and set up the chairs with Michael's direction.
Okay, ready?
Oh, give us a sec.
Grace and Elizabeth fix each other's hair, put on lipstick. Ashley and Katie get comfortable and hold the hair so she's in a frame. Maeve positions herself in the middle.
Ready.
Then let's begin. I'm all ears.
Michael X's to the camera, turns on the lights, and gives Maeve the cue.
Once upon a time, in 1902, Lux University was built out of Bedford limestone, a combination of French and Italian Renaissance design, with an observatory dome at the top for study and stargazing.
The building is 4 stories, 5 if you count the dome.
The dome room used to hold a telescope until 1940, when a highway was built along the east side of campus. With the constant shaking of the ground, however, the telescope couldn't function.
There are actually 2 domes inside the room. The inside dome is what we're looking at now.
After the telescope was shut down, the room was used as a classroom until the Arctic blast of 1943 cracked a hole in the window, which made the space uninhabitable.
So it became storage.
And like storage, it was forgotten. Everyone forgot about this room. Everyone, except us.
Us. Who's us?
Us. We. The Sentinels.
Lights fade up.
Here's transition film. Can everybody see? No music.
There's a loud thunderclap as lightning lights up part of the stage. A young male student is illuminated stage left, standing out in the rain, wearing an act up t-shirt. His khaki pants are spattered in red paint. He's holding the sign that says, "Silence equals death. Act up now." Scene 2, May 2nd, 1986, 11 p.m. Act up. Another loud thunderclap. Lightning illuminates the stage, lights up. Francie's preparing a portable telescope center stage. Maddie is working on an event schedule on a poster board with a list of initiatives to protest the issues with AIDS. Carol is typing on a small vintage Mac computer. They argue as they work.
We don't have a choice. AIDS is a worldwide crisis now, and the president, Ronald Reagan, still won't talk about it.
Don't call him that. He's the president. Show some respect.
I'm trying, but it's hard to respect complete silence.
Another huge thunderclap. The lights flicker on and off.
Oh, this is awesome. My mad scientist is coming out. It's alive, Igor.
Do you know Frankenstein is a feminist novel?
What are you talking about?
Mary Shelley's mother was Mary Wollstonecraft, the mother of the feminist movement.
Wait, what? Mary Shelley's mother?
In 1772, Mary Wollstonecraft wrote the Vindication of the Rights of Women. The book was a sensation, and she became the most famous woman in England and America. I do not wish women to have the power over men, sir, but over themselves.
Julie enters in a raincoat holding a presentation folder that's covered in plastic to keep it dry.
Hey, homegirls, it's like fireworks out there. Where's Emily? We need all hands on deck.
She won't be in tonight or all day tomorrow.
She okay?
She's driving another one of her theater friends to an out-of-town AIDS clinic to get tested. Still, have to be so hush-hush.
Damn, theater department has really been hit hard. No wonder they're protesting. I just saw one of the actors standing in the pouring rain outside the Founders Ball.
It's crucial that we stay focused on it. No matter how we choose to do it, the disease is only going to spread and affect everyone eventually, straight and gay. Women and children. Hopefully, our work will slow it down because standing by and waiting for people to die is not an option.
President Reagan doesn't seem to mind.
Order. I declare the May 2nd, 1986 meeting of the Sentinels of Lux University called to order at 1 a.m. Carol, do you have copies of the minutes for everyone?
Duh, I am the secretary.
You all know the drill. Take a minute to read them, someone approve them, then rip them.
Why is this extreme secrecy still necessary after all these years?
Because as soon as the outside world finds out about us and what we're doing, they'll figure out a way to tear it down or trivialize it somehow.
A moment while they all speed read.
I motion that the April minutes be approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? April minutes approved.
They all automatically rip up the copies. Carol passes around the garbage can.
Maddie, I know you're knocking your socks off as usual. Give us a recap of what's happening on the AIDS front. It's our #1 agenda item this month.
Everyone's helping me get these flyers done for the distribution tomorrow morning. One of Emily's theater friends started this new group we're working with called ACT UP, and these folks are serious.
It's time to be serious. This plague has been going on for 5 years. I'm so proud that the Sentinels have jumped on board in such a radical way. Let's act up, ladies.
They all jump up, clap their hands together, and with their left hand unzip their mouths open to make the peace sign with both hands and say in unison,
Silent no more. For the record, the lesbians have been acting up big time for a while now. The terror is still so great that healthcare workers continue refusing to treat people. Please add this to the minutes, Carol. I'm happy to report that I've banded together with a group of my sisters and we've started a lesbian blood drive. We're hoping that this first time out that we could get 50 or so donating, but guess what? Then when we got there, over 200 women were lined up around the block. Thanks for showing up, Francie. It was mind-blowing. They're calling us the Blood Sisters. A lot of us still don't have the money to give up, but we sure as hell can give ourselves.
Right on, Maddie. Let's show them that blood really is thicker than water.
So annoying that it's still a #1 agenda item. And why does everything have to move so freaking slow? I sure hope all our efforts are making a difference. It's hard to see it sometimes.
Of course, they're making a difference, Francie. The work reverberates. You know that. It reaches our sisters who are already at those important tables and gives them strength.
We have to learn to live with the uncertain fact that we don't know how our work affects the future. But it does, so let's just plow forward, work our asses off, and have faith.
Well said. I would just add, love each other. Still friends.
Still friends.
On the practical side, we have Sentinels working around the world in labs in Paris with, I just love saying her name, Francois Barré-Sinuski. She discovered HIV.
We're also in the White House. Say what? You heard me. We have a Sentinel in the White House working for Nancy Reagan's chief of staff.
I heard about her. She went from Lux straight to the White House.
How did she manage that? It usually takes years of trust.
Well, she's a Sentinel for one thing, and she has a master's in astrophysics, but the best part, she's an astrologer. That's how she paid her way through Lux.
I wish she was here now. She probably knows how to open the dome.
The story goes that she does astrological readings for the First Lady, and we here at Lotus is very taken with it, believes it even. They say the country is following her predictions right now.
Sounds promising.
We're in schools and churches too. I know you've heard of Bishop Yvette Flunder.
I love her. She calls herself a womanist and she's a Sentinel.
To the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power.
They put their hands in a pile together like musketeers and shake on it 3 times, then throw their hands into the air like an explosion.
What, Francie?
A little off the agenda, but I'm so amped for the big celestial event tonight.
Please clarify the point because I have $5 writing on it. Is it Haley or Haley's Comet?
It's Haley with 2 L's.
It's Anne.
Listen, the rain has stopped. Now, I have to just figure out how to open the dome so we can see Haley through this portable telescope.
I have something exciting to report.
She opens the folder and proudly lays the papers out. They all snap their fingers very fast, like beatnik applause, something they do when good news is brought to the meeting.
As you all know, I've been working with the National Cancer Institute. They set up a clinical trial to test a drug that's been around since 1964. And according to these findings, it's showing real promise. It's called AZT.
How soon before it gets into the hands of our loved ones?
I'm not sure, maybe a year?
A lot of folks will die in a year. It's the doctors and scientists moving forward and making a difference, even if the president wants to pretend it isn't happening.
Give him a break, will you?
You won't even say, use a condom for pity's sake.
He turned his back on Rock Hudson, Carol.
He's afraid because there are so many extremists in his cabinet. The poor homosexuals, they have declared war upon nature, and now nature is exacting an awful retribution. Gag me with a spoon. Dr. Anthony Fauci warned us of making a mistake 4 years ago. It's not homosexuals, it's not drug users, and it's not Haitians, it's a health crisis. Soon to be a worldwide pandemic, people. Too many of my friends have died. The loss is profound, and I, for one, am kicking the door open once and for all. I've been working out at the Y. You should see how many women are taking classes in karate and self-defense. Hi,
Whoa, whoa, Maddie's son. Mr. Miyagi said, fighting always last answer to problems.
silent no more. Hi, yeah.
Order. Moving on to new business. Who's next?
Just one more thing before we move on to new business. Remember when I did that internship last summer with the medical division of the FDA? Well, I became close to one of the chief medical scientists.
Ooh, close encounter of the first kind. What would Jason say?
Not much. Excuse me? In a minute, Maddie, as I was saying, he asked me to help him gather statistics. Well, the numbers are in, and what I found is that AIDS is spreading faster than anyone predicted. These stats are finally convincing the FDA to approve not only AZT, but several other emergency drugs as well.
You see? Step by step. Okay, on to new business. I'm sure you've heard that the National Organization for Women is holding a march on Washington at the end of the month called the March for Women's Lives. It's going to be the largest march for women's rights in history. I'll be there.
Remind me what we're marching for?
What else? Roe v. Wade? We need to keep it at the forefront or we'll lose the rights we've worked so long and so hard for.
And that's not even the worst of it. 5 years ago, President Ronald Reagan thank you, gave us Sandra Day O'Connor. But it was announced today that his Supreme Court nominations are William Requin and Anthony Scalia, thank you. Both anti-choice. Enough said. Meeting adjourned.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Get back to work.
Wait. Can we take a break from work for a minute?
Is it necessary, Francie? It's so late already. We still have a lot of work ahead
I
of us.
know, but something major has happened and I really need to talk about it with my girlfriend.
Oh boy, what's up?
Jason's been cheating on me. For a while now.
You guys have been together since freshman year. I'm so sorry, Francie. I thought you two were for life.
Well, at least till graduation anyway. Like my Nana always says, the only thing you can count on is change. He said I wasn't sexy enough anymore. You can tell a lot about a man by the woman he has on his arm.
But he knows you're a scientific genius, not a sex kitten. Not at Dick's.
He says he hates my Doc Martens. I can't believe I didn't see it coming.
Don't beat yourself up.
I'm not. I'm a scientist and a proud Sentinel. I know who I am, and I had nothing to do with his actions except wear Doc Martens. Who knew?
Oh, you mean you weren't alluring enough? You weren't.
More of a ball and chain than a bathing beauty. Back saddle, bird brain, bitch.
They all laugh. Speak. Carol decides to keep it going. It takes on a head of steam, a questioning word that ends in a huge crescendo and release of emotion.
Brazen bitch.
Bunny,
Broad, bull dyke,
call girl,
concubine, courtesan, coquette,
Coldfish, cow, crone, C-word. I'm sorry, I can't. What's next?
D is for
Delilah,
Drudge, fallen, femme fatale,
flirt, floozy,
glamour girl, gold digger,
goddess,
hag,
harpy, harlot, heifer, honey, hussy,
jailbait,
lewd, loose, mistress,
nervous Nelly,
nymphomaniac, prim,
priestess,
prostitute,
provocative old maid,
pussy, ravishing, sensual, seamstress,
sex pot, sow, streetwalker,
suffragette,
November 14th, never forget, temptress,
tigress,
tomato,
trollop,
tomboy,
unfeminine, wanton whore,
weaker sex, wallflower,
widow,
waitress,
working girl,
witch,
They all scream, hug each other, high five, and true release of emotion that is a little too loud. Suddenly they hear footsteps on the staircase leading to the room. Julie motions for them to quiet down. They immediately start to hide their work. The door bursts open and Dean Sherham enters the raincoated hood. She is unrecognizable at first.
What's going on in here? This is a condemned area. You could be fined or even expelled. Dean Sherman. Good evening, ladies. I just left the Founders Ball and was headed toward the parking lot when I noticed lights on in this boarded up dome where no one is allowed. So being a fan of Agatha Christie, I naturally decided to investigate. And I think the first question she would ask is, why are you in here at all?
we're so sorry. We were just studying together for a group.
I'm working on my thesis.
You just said a group project? Which is it?
Oh, it's my thesis, but it requires a group to perform it.
Really? Well, that sounds interesting. But you're not in the theater department, are you, Francine?
No, ma'am, but
No excuses. Period. Let me see what you're working on.
We actually found this place by accident. We didn't realize it was condemned or we never would have come here.
we'll get out right away and find some more appropriate. Please don't expel me.
Dean walks around and sees the charts and flyers.
By accident, you say? Seems pretty out of the way for that. As a matter of fact, how did you even get inside the dome? And look at all this stuff. The evidence appears to show that you've been working in here for years. And why so late at night? And why are the lights on so bright? It was streaming through the boards. You were easy to spot.
Well, we just
Unconsciously careless considering you don't want to be caught.
A moment, girls are silent. The dean walks over to the secret cupboard, pauses, looks back at the girls, then opens it. She puts her arm far back and pulls out the bear, which is wearing a t-shirt with an AIDS slogan. She kisses it and gently tosses it to Julie, who catches it.
Good catch. Be careful with her. She's been around since 1945. And another thing, why are there only 4 of you? Where's number 5?
You're a sentinel. The dean of Lux University is a sentinel.
no way. I mean, really?
Silent, no more.
Silent, no more.
A woman at every table.
In every corner of the world.
Every corner. Just out of curiosity, why are you all here so late?
We just finished our May meeting. Number 1 agenda item, AIDS crisis. We're making flyers for distribution all over town tomorrow.
So you're pulling an all-nighter.
Yes, ma'am. As many as it takes, it saves lives.
Okay, Sentinels. I'm going home now, but a word of caution, please keep these lights dimmed at night. Don't forget, you hold 40 years of hard work and dreams in your hands. Don't get careless. Stay vigilant.
He walks over to the button on the wall, pushes it, and the dome folds down to reveal the night sky and moonlight. They all take part in the amazing sight.
Awesome. Thank you. Just have to know the secret.
He walks to the door, opens it, but before she exits, she addresses them one last time.
Adios, amigos.
She exits, closing the door behind.
Sentinel, oh my God, we have everywhere, just like Haley's Comet.
They all gather around Francine and the telescope and takes turn looking at the lights as the lights fade into sleep. The stagehand enters, dressed as a hippie. He makes some adjustments to the set, does a few dance moves to the music, exits. Scene 3, January 12, 1973, free at last. The room is now costume storage. There are racks of costumes, and on the floor are newspapers and a pair of freshly spray painted silver shoes with a hand painted star inside. The Sentinels, Lauren, Gladys, Beverly, and Marilyn, are heard off stage, celebrating the passage of Roe versus Wade.
Men, their rights and nothing more.
They stumble on as a group with their arms around each other, laughing. Lauren carries a champagne bottle. They're all a bit tipsy. Heather enters last, but not quite as joyous as the rest.
Women, their rights and nothing less.
Freedom is never given, it is won.
And women, what for once? Choice is the law of the land, and there will never be another illegal back alley abortion in these United States. I get it.
What a glorious time to be alive. To Roe v. Wade.
To Roe v. Wade.
Peace, love, and rock and roll, you scientific hippies.
Excuse me, Lauren, I'm not a hippie.
Okay, rat girl, take a chill pill.
Heather crosses up stage and sets up a table and chairs. Marilyn follows her.
What's going on with you, Heather? Why so serious?
I guess I still have feelings about it. I just don't feel like celebrating. Is that okay with you?
I get it. A dream of career and a house in the suburbs with the kids in the yard is you. You want it all. Nothing wrong with that, but
But it's gonna take some adjusting, so that's all. Give me a little space. Please. I'm still a Catholic girl from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
Roe doesn't mean you have to change who you are. And all it means is that women have a safe choice if they need one. As a med student, you should appreciate that.
Heather crosses to Marilyn, takes her by the arm, and stays firmly and quietly in Marilyn's ear.
Don't tell me how to think or how I should feel. We are not the same in that way.
Hell, if they would leave it in the hands of midwives and stop blowing everything out of proportion, the problem would certainly decrease, which is what they want, right?
No, they want it to cease.
Never going to happen. There will always be a need. We'll just be forced back into the shadows again. Women will die, but it won't stop.
And that's the plain truth.
Did you hear Margaret Chase Smith was just defeated in her Senate reelection bid? First time in 24 years there are no women in the US Senate. In 1973, we're slacking, Sentinels.
One step forward, 3 steps back. Still so much still to do.
Got that right. Besides, safety is all it's really about. And safe and legal is the mission.
Right on, and we've worked tirelessly to accomplish this. Put ourselves in danger, risk friendships and family members, even our religion. Why? Because women's rights are human rights.
Oh, look, who left these far out shoes here? I love them, but better not touch in case someone from the theater department realizes we are in here too.
Beverly crosses up stage and joins her to admire the shoe. They have a private moment while the others continue to chat and celebrate.
You okay? You look a little down too, Beth.
My period is late. Yeah, I'm totally freaking out.
Probably just hormonal imbalance. You need a hug?
It's gonna take more than a hug, I'm afraid, but thanks, Gladys. You're a good friend.
I'm here for you, no matter what.
Sisters in good times and bad.
Sisters.
This is only the beginning of our independence, Sentinels.
Heather shakes off the feelings for now and joins the group.
Only the beginning is right. Why does everything take so damn long?
Always so embarrassing. No privacy. Just last week, I went to the campus doctor with a friend to find out her results. We were sitting in the waiting room, hearts pounding in a room filled with students. The nurse comes out, calls out her name. She raises her hand, and the nurse announces to the entire room, "Congratulations, you're pregnant."
Heather, Lauren, Marilyn, and Gladys grab doctor's coats that are hanging on the costume rack and become doctors and nurses and surround Beverly. This is very playful. They have clipboards, stethoscopes, headgear. This should be said.
Open wide. How are you feeling?
How long since your last period?
Are your breasts tender?
Are you feeling tired?
Have you been vomiting in the morning?
Did you forget to take your pill?
Pee in this cup.
You know, in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Here, take a bath. You don't know? Doctors even study women's bodies. They base all of our health data and treatments on an average man. They call it the rest bikini medicine.
You see, that's all we still are to the medical profession. Tits and ass. Fucking uterus.
Mellow out, Sentinels. Help is on the way. It's just a matter of time and chemistry.
It's that just a matter of time part that has me worried.
It's not that we haven't been working on it. There's a patented test that's been out there for 6 years, developed by a woman, of course. The test is not the problem. The problem is the resistance to marketing it directly to women instead of doctors. That's why we need more women doctors. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made, especially when it comes to our own bodies.
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Got that right. But in the meantime, I've been working on something of my own.
Of course you have. You're a sentinel. We wait for no man. Our mission is to change the world and be what, Sentinels?
Silent no more.
Exactly. Wait here. I'll be right back.
Well, while we wait, we might as well finish off this bottle. Make love, not war.
At the end of the circle, and take turns swimming until the bottle is empty.
Oh, look, instant consciousness raising group. Who has something they want to share?
They playfully improvise a poem together.
Comet Kohu. Kohota? Comet Kohotek is on its way.
The end of the bombing in Cambodia today.
Anyone see Sally Field and Norma Ray?
I liked Carrie.
You would.
The Godfather was my favorite. Understood.
Nixon's gone.
We're on the moon.
Jeanette Rankin and Janis Joplin have gone way too soon.
We've discovered the Big Bang and found black holes, the Rubik's Cube, and
Ooh, what are those?
they call them Post-it notes.
They all look at the curious new invention and pass it around, write labels and stick them on things.
Oh, one more thing I need to share before this consciousness raising group is adjourned.
She takes a Post-it and says out loud as she writes it.
Yoko Ono did not break up the Beatles.
She places it on Heather, the forehead and says,
Why do they always blame the woman?
Gladys returns carrying a bucket, Dixie cups, and a chemistry set.
Okay, before we get started, here's a little nerdy female history. The first known pregnancy test dates to ancient Egypt in 1350 BC. Potential mothers were instructed to urinate on bags of wheat and barley. If the grain germinated, the theory went, the woman was expecting.
You mean we've been waiting over 3,000 years?
Typical. Why does everything take so damn long?
What's all this stuff?
All this stuff is gonna make doctors unnecessary.
She sets up her test, which contains 4 test tubes, 1 for each girl. Each test tube has a region in the bottom. She would take the pee from the Dixie cup with a dropper and add it to the test tube, add a few drops of water, and look at her watch, record the time in her notebook, toss the extra pee in a bucket, and wait.
With What's in there?
Red blood cells taken from a sheep. You don't need to know. Here's what I want you to do. Go in the bathroom, pee in this Dixie cup, return it to me, and I'll test it. P is for pregnancy. That's what I'm calling it. Here, Lauren, you go first.
Okay, but I'm the control, right? Because we all know damn well without a shadow of a doubt that I'm not pregnant.
She sits bathroom on stage and slams the door.
How does it work? It has to do with the HCG marker. It appears in the blood and urine as early as 10 days after conception.
Right on, Heather.
Thank you. I'm glad my tuition has me. The news will make my father very happy, although using my medical degree to help create a pregnancy test may not thrill him all that much.
She makes the sign of the cross for protection. Lauren enters and crosses to Gladys, holding a very full cup of tea, carefully trying not to spill it out, so it goes all over the floor.
Oops.
Damn, Lauren.
Hang on,
You know why? Who was it? Anyone we should know?
rather not say. My luck, I got laid one time and I'm pregnant.
One time?
Okay, this semester.
First results are in. Lauren, you are not a mother.
All right, give me some skin.
Gladys and Lauren high five. Beverly enters with her cup and gives it to Gladys, her hand shaking. She spills a little.
Whoa, steady girl. You're such a spaz, Beverly.
She takes the cup from her shaky hand and tests the urine.
Give me a break, will you? Have a little compassion. I'm a nervous wreck. Oh, by the way, I've got an extra ticket for the Sonny and Cher concert tonight if anyone has time to join me. Sincerely hope I'll be able to enjoy myself, Gladys.
Cher is such a badass. Are we sure she's not a sentinel?
She's a natural born sentinel. They already called her a goddess. I bet she'll still be performing in 50 years in the same outfits. I just can't imagine Cher as an old lady ever.
Okay, Marilyn, it's your turn.
Ruby.
Takes the cup and goes to that.
And try not to fill it so full, please.
Okay, don't go bananas. Unlike some others, I know how to pee in a Dixie cup.
Make a note, everyone. She's had practice.
Sit on it, Lauren.
Okay, Heather, your turn.
No need, trust me. Lauren is your control. You only need one. What? I'm picking on. I'm still cautious Catholic girl from.
What?
If I got pregnant, my life would be over because my mother would disown me and my father would kill me. Not to mention the nuns.
Damn, Heather. Feel so loosey-goosey.
Please don't on my account. It's just Slim Pickens in the pre-med department this semester.
What, no dreamy Alan Alda lookalikes? No Hawkeyes, no Trapper John?
Oh, Beverly,
What?
congratulations.
Are you kidding me?
Psych!
You're a terrible person, Glenn.
Here it is. But I'm wondering why it looks different. It's a grody color and it's bubbly. What could that mean? Do I have some disease I don't know about? Probably just too much champagne. Champagne is bubbly.
That grody color and that foamy urine is not the champagne. It can only mean one thing.
Swine flu. Legionnaire's disease.
Pregnancy.
Wait, what? No way. I used the pill and a diaphragm, double protection.
It can still happen. Nothing is 100% guaranteed, not yet anyway. 9 in 100 still get pregnant.
Marilyn slowly sinks down into a chair, buries her head in her hands, considering the consequences. The other girls gather around her.
So I'm the unlucky one. The 2% of the 98% success rating? Are you sure that stupid little homemade science project of yours is correct? Because you're seriously fucking with my head right now.
Okay, don't have a cow.
I'm not having a cow. I'm having a baby, apparently. It's a psych, right? I mean, very funny, Gladys.
I'm sorry, but my work is very accurate.
No, you're sorry? I mean, who the hell are you anyway? Some medieval piss prophet?
Good one.
Don't you understand there are no children in this artistic dream? At least not now. Besides, artists make horrible parents. It's a known fact.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that, but that makes total sense.
I'm on my way to New York City after graduation. I have a scholarship to study with Stella Adler, the greatest acting teacher in the world. Do you have any idea how different and difficult that was? I was chosen out of hundreds of talented applicants, mostly male. I'm going to carve my own path. I owe it to my gender.
You're such a free spirit, Marilyn.
Our generation is a generation of firsts. I mean, we don't even have to get married anymore if we don't want to. I have a friend who's going to a sperm bank to have a kid. We're free at last. How could I possibly stop and have a kid right now?
Well, you could. It would change your life and send you in a completely new direction, but that might not be a bad thing. Or you could take time out to have it and put it up for adoption. Maybe your friend wouldn't have to go to this birthday.
Ah, my hormones are running wild. I hate hormones. All this emotion just gets in the way.
She crosses to the secret cupboard, opens it, puts her hand all in, and pulls out the bear, who's dressed like a hippie. She hugs her for comfort, like a little girl. She puts her hand back in and brings out a bottle of cheap wine, screw top, and a clear glass ashtray with 2 joints rolled up and a lighter.
I put those there.
What?
It's okay. I'm in the theater department. How did I know I was gonna need them?
She takes one, lights it, takes a puff and passes it on. She opens the wine, takes a swig.
Don't say anything, Heather. I've heard enough about the study. It's only a swig. My mother smoked 2 packs a day when she was pregnant with me in 1948. Look how I turned out.
She passes the wine. From this point on, the women start getting quite thirsty.
I honestly don't get what the big deal is. We're surrounded by the killing of living children on a mass scale every single day. So why all the fuss over an abortion? It isn't about saving life. It's about controlling us. What about sovereignty?
Sovereignty?
Yes. Oops. Okay. Yes, supreme authority over oneself. I'm a 22-year-old adult. I decide who I birth and when. It's my call. It's personal.
Some things happen for a reason. Maybe you're being tested.
Seriously, Heather, not that old-fashioned bologna on a plate. I mean, why isn't it being chosen out of hundreds of talented artists and being awarded a scholarship a reason? I did everything I could to prevent pregnancy, except having sex, of course, and I refuse to feel guilt for that.
Let your freak flag fly, baby. It's all a magical mystery tour anyway.
Are you high, Lauren?
We're all pretty high. Started out as a celebration, remember?
Path is not for everyone.
Exactly. So why do we pretend that there's only one definition of female?
Power to the feminists.
The world is overpopulated anyway, 4 billion and counting. There's famine, racism, sexism, and atomic bombs. I mean, who wants to bring a child into this mess? Besides, women are having babies into their mid-30s now. I still have time. If I don't get punished by God, that is.
And what about God?
Well, that's between me and my God and my free will, which was given to me by God.
But it's life
At this point, it's 4 cells.
that have potential.
I have potential.
You're making no sense.
You're making no sense.
The Bible tells us,
Be careful, Heather.
no, you be careful. In fact, you hadn't been more careful.
Oh, you want to push all my buttons, do you?
Easily push when you're feeling guilty.
Oh, I do not feel guilty.
I would.
I know you would.
Maybe you should.
Oh, you're a religious nut.
I'll pray for you.
Oh, my faith does not need defending.
You sure?
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yes.
You're both cuckoo. We've had a lot of champagne.
Yeah,
I would never stand in your way.
thank you.
It wouldn't be my choice.
But thanks to Roe v. Wade, it's mine. As my Shira, Lillian Hellman says, God forgives those who invent what they need.
Heather begins singing the Sentinel theme song a cappella. One by one, the other Sentinels join in. As Beverly picks one of the cans of spray paint and writes diagonally on the wall, Liberté, Égalité, Sororité. With sororité written down. Lights up, the male actor appears stage left, dressed as an astronaut. He's standing in front of the NASA logo. He's waving to the fans. Lights up again. Harriet is working on a complex math problem. She's writing in the upper level of the room that is all chalkboard. The teddy bear is on the desk as a good luck charm. The bear is dressed as an astronaut outfit. Scene 4, October 10, 1967, 7 p.m. The women on the moon.
How's it going, Harriet?
It's fine, my friend, just not quite sure exactly where at the moment.
Let's hope it's to the moon and back. Well, I swear.
Well, I swear not by the moon. The inconsistent moon that monthly changes in circled word.
Okay, Julia, have you made any mathematical headway today?
Some, math is my minor.
I know, but you're the best we have.
Gee, thanks.
That's why we need this new recruit.
Do we? Maybe we can change the rules and just be 4. I honestly think I could do it by myself. I've managed to move the equation forward. See?
We've been working on it for 3 days, Harriet. We need to finish it today. That's why Mary will be here any minute now. We need a real mathematician.
Oh, chopped liver, am I? I am a real mathematician, Linda.
Not like this, Harriet. These NASA equations require inventing new mathematics.
But it's the tip of my tongue. I can taste it.
We have to get it done. This is unique in Sentinel history. A former member reaching out in this way and asking for our help as a group. You must believe in us.
I admit, it is cool that we can work together like this in secret and nobody, not even NASA, has to know women are solving their equations for them.
And why do women have to work in secret?
Because according to Aristotle, women are a deformity of nature.
Fuck Aristotle. My brain's as good as any man's. Better, in fact.
Such bogus bullshit.
I'm waiting for the day when we can get actual jobs at NASA with equal pay. It's 1967, for pity's sake.
How many women do they have working there now?
Including our Sentinel? 3. Hopefully President Johnson's new executive order will help. At least they won't be able to discriminate against us in government jobs anymore.
Thank you, National Organization for Women. Thank you, Shirley Chisholm.
We need to get a move on. She's really under the gun to get this last part of the equation completed so Apollo and those hunky astronauts can land safely on the moon. Damn, did I just say the moon? Or is time to be alive?
It would have been quicker if we'd been given the entire equation instead of just this one section. Moon is waiting after all,
Why doesn't the moon shade?
because it waxes. What a new invention that is. Have you tried it yet? I've been waxing my legs, my eyebrows, my pits, not to mention.
Okay, Harry girl, don't you have work to do?
Right.
Hey, Einsteins, our next victim, named recruit, is waiting downstairs with Nancy. Her name is Mary, in case you forgot, and she completes us because she is our much needed physics genius.
So she could pass this last test.
Do you think we'll go to hell for lying to her like this?
Yes, definitely. I've been on my way to hell for a long time anyway, according to my parents.
So she's smart enough to solve the equation she's in.
But if she doesn't want to be in,
Oh, she'll want it.
you sound sure.
Who wouldn't want to be a sentinel?
The door opens and Nancy enters with Mary.
You remember everyone, Mary? Harriet, Natalie, and our fearless leader, Linda.
So happy you accepted our invitation. Do you like what you see?
This is unbelievable. I had no idea there was a room up here in the old dome.
We like it that way.
So exactly why am I here?
We're starting an all-female team in order to compete in the International College Math Competition, and we just lost one of our members, so we're really hoping you'll join us.
Why me? I'm a physics major. I mean, I'm good at math, but physics is my true talent.
And she's humble too.
Shut up, she's not.
Excuse me?
Einstein was a physicist and he did math.
He was a genius in physics, but his math was not his strong point. Einstein was more of a poet. He had to hire a mathematician to help him out. Luckily for you, I'm also a math major.
Oh my god, she is so hot. Leave me out of this, will you?
Double major, great, because we have this equation we thought you might be able to help us solve.
That's it. I'm stuck, total bummer. Oh.
Don't mind the dramatics, Mary. Harriet is a bit of a scientific drama queen.
Mellow out, Harriet, you'll scare our kids.
Don't worry, I'm not easily scared.
I think I'm a while.
I need a break. My brains are fried. Bologna on a plate.
He comes down and joins the group. Mary walks over to the equation board and considers the problem.
Oh, wow. Yes, I understand why you thought I might be able to help. This involves a real world problem. Okay, you have my attention. Maybe if we move the decimal there.
She starts to work in the math problem. She goes back and forth over Harriet's work, erases something, adds something, then steps back and thinks about what's next. Suddenly she sees something and excitedly works on the problem again. Linda and the others watch Mary as she works.
Give me a minute. I do better when no one's looking over my shoulder.
Take your time. We'll be right over here, Mary.
She motions to the other Sentinels to join her downstage, while Mary continues to work in the zone without paying attention to them.
She has the smarts to figure this out, but she's passed the test, and we should definitely ask her to be a sentinel.
Agreed. She really is a good candidate. I heard she's training for the next Boston Marathon.
Not allowed to run marathons. It's illegal.
Where have you been, Natalie? Kathy Switzer just ran the Boston Marathon completely undercover and finished.
No one even knew she was a woman until it was all over. So damn cool.
And guess what? Your uterus did not fall out and all, like all that male doctors predicted.
Lord, give us strength to endure the foolishness. Home.
While we're only thing, I have some news that is not on my agenda.
You're pregnant?
Shut up, Nancy. Better than that. Isaiah and I are getting married at Christmas.
Married? Is that a good idea?
We think it is.
Now I know why you were quoting Juliet.
You thought about the consequences?
Of course I have. I'm a sentinel. We plan to be doctors, go to Vietnam, we could do a lot of good there. No one will ever care what color we are.
Don't be so sure. A white woman and a black man married? That's a new concept.
Sounds like you're putting obstacles in your way.
Don't care. Love him. Love conquers all.
First Shakespeare, now Virgil. Omnia vincit amor. He must be in love.
Not gonna conquer racism, not in 1967. Detroit is burning. Or haven't you heard? I mean, why on earth do you want to create more problems for yourself besides being a woman?
Some things are worth fighting for.
I prefer to pick fights I can win. Is it even legal?
Loving the Virginia just passed last month. It's legal.
Ink's still wet and it certainly won't change people's minds overnight. You're still going to face a lot of adversity.
Since when did a sentinel shy away from adversity?
What did your parents say?
They're not happy. Worried about their unborn grandchildren.
Can you blame them?
Didn't I ever tell you about our first date? As I was walking out the door to get into his father's brand new silver Cadillac Eldorado, my mother turned me around, looked straight into my eyes and said, "I'm letting you go, but don't bring home any nappy-haired grandchildren." And in my 17-year-old brain, I thought, why does hair texture matter so much?
Interracial dating aside, why are you wasting your time on that old-fashioned institution called marriage? I mean, it's just a piece of paper. Will only distract you from your mission.
I'm in love, Nancy. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, even if it's 1967. We've been together 5 years already. It's time. You're all invited. It is at the campus chapel, details to come. We're making our own woodcut invitation. Besides, Nancy, have you ever been in love lately?
Love ain't easy, not in my circles anyway. Britain just passed the Sexual Offenses Act, which partly decriminalizes homosexual love, so that should help. At least in Britain.
I didn't know that.
What do you know, Natalie? I mean, you're a great scientist, but for the rest, I mean, you could use some work.
You told me Mary was.
Don't read too much into that. I just wanted you to stop talking. Do you think she's not? Be honest. Just hope she's smart.
Finished.
Oh, you did it.
Well, actually, we did it. Most of the work was done before I came into the room. I just made a few changes to the proof and then the ending became clear. Is somebody going to tell me what this is really about? Why I was invited here and what is a top secret NASA proof doing on this wall?
You're right, we lied.
About the math competition thing,
But this is way cooler than any competition.
way cooler.
All right. I thought I knew what was real, but I'm beginning to doubt my own senses. Enlighten me, please.
You've heard of male secret societies like Skull and Bones at Yale or Sphinx at Dartmouth, or Ivy Club at Harvard?
I heard of them, but don't know much about them really. A bunch of mostly rich, young, white men helping each other up the food chain so they can rule the world.
Exactly. Well, what if there was a secret society set up on similar principles only for women? All inclusive, all on scholarships from all scientific and artistic fields. How do you feel about that?
A bit stunned, to tell you the truth. Never heard of such a thing. Or is this just another lie to get me to solve your math problems?
No way, we're for real.
Let's see, lying or for real, which is it?
I see your point, Mary, but definitely for real,
Why me?
because obviously.
I see this with a test.
Please forgive us, but we had to know if you had the talent to be one of us, and apparently you do.
I mean, even I was stumped, and that never happens.
So what do you say? It would really be an asset to the group.
I appreciate your interest in me. I do.
Please, don't say no.
And I'm glad I could help you with your math problem, but I've made it a rule never to join groups. No sororities, no future homemakers of America, and especially no physics clubs.
That sounds boring.
Oh, what? I'm sure she has her reasons.
But Mary, this is different. We're not just some ordinary group.
We've been in existence since 1945, working out of this old sacred dome in secret. We call ourselves the Sentinels, and our mission is to make sure there's a woman at every important decision-making table on the planet. Our motto, silence no more.
We're always 5 in number, and that changes every 2 years as we earn our master's degrees and move out into the world. This year, we lost a Sentinel. Her name was Rosemary, and she dropped out to work for Bobby Kennedy's presidential campaign. So now we find ourselves with an opening, and we think you'd be a perfect fit.
So you had to test me.
Please don't take it as a negative, Mary. But we're a secret society with an emphasis on secret. You know, we have to be careful who we let in. Our mission is so precious to us. Lives depend on it. We can't take any risks. We've already taken one just telling you all this.
I mean, if you don't join, we'll have to kill him.
I'm flattered. I really am, but it's a hard, fast rule of mine. I'm a loner. I go it alone.
Like I said,
But you just proved you're a great collaborator.
I said no. Please, just please take no for an answer. End of discussion.
Whoa, we didn't mean to upset you.
You haven't upset me. I'm just not interested, okay? Now, if you'll excuse me.
He starts to exit. Linda jumps in front of the door.
Mary, please. What could be so terrible about joining a group of brilliant women trying to change the world?
Let me pass, please.
They all charge Linda at the door, blocking Mary from leaving.
I said it once politely. Now get out of my way.
we need you.
Not my problem.
You're a born
I
sentinel.
told you I'm not a joiner.
It's something else, isn't it?
You don't want me in this group, trust me.
There's nothing you can say that will change our minds about you. We've been vetting you for months. See? It's true. We want you on our team.
You don't know, you just don't know.
What don't we know? Say it already. How bad can it be?
Okay, here goes. Ask for it. I'm a lesbian. You know, laughing at you. We're laughing because I'm a lesbian too. I mean, there's always been lesbians in the Sentinel. Rumor has it.
Rosie the Riveter was a sentinel, and being gay would ever be a reason to hold back your genius.
I've tried so hard to keep it undercover. You know the age-old story. My parents would
Disown.
disown me. Now,
Now it's not then, Mary. It's getting better for all of us, all the time.
us,
Yes, us.
sisters. I can see we're all going to be good friends.
Now we don't have to kill you.
No, you don't. I'm in, and besides, I'm too young to die. Where do I sign up?
So hot. I knew it.
1 to no one.
Moving on. I'm glad that's settled because we're in a hurry. Remember, we need to get this completed, proved to our girl at NASA, so we have to get you sworn in as soon as possible. let the emergency ceremony begin.
What now?
Yes, right now. We apologize for this Reader's Digest version, but time is of the essence. We'll hold the full-blown ceremony at another date with all of the bells and whistles, robes, candles, chanting, secret handshakes, and some other strange rituals. Although we did stop sacrificing animals in the 50s.
Stop, Linda, you freak. Now, we just convinced her to join.
But right now we have astronauts to put on the moon.
Where's that sash?
It's located in early place, the thatch over Mary's head.
Our colors are purple for dignity, green for hope, and white for the suffragettes. Our motto,
Silent no more. Our pledge, raise your right hand and repeat after me. Speak up, dream big, disagree, act courageously, and infiltrate.
Speak up, dream big, disagree, act courageously, and infiltrate. Infiltrate?
Yes, we want women at the table anywhere in the world where decisions are being made.
When do I start?
You already have. Thanks for that.
Welcome to the Sentinels.
Everyone, including Mary, puts their hands in a pile like the three musketeers, shake up and down 3 times, and explode hands in the air.
There's just one last thing to do.
Harriet whispers something into Mary's ear and points to the door. The instant enters Mary again, spray paint. Mary goes up to the second level as everybody watched. She spray paints. She took a women, both group of women, to put a man on the moon. This is not revealed till the final scene of the play. Fade to black. End of scene. A male reporter enters, dressed in 1952 style, with a cigar in his mouth. He watches the news projections and takes notes. The last story projected is about the Russians. He makes a note and exits. Scene 5, Sunday, December 11th, 1952. Secrets. Just before midnight, with the flag, to hear the women quietly singing Deck the Halls.
okay, ready for some Christmas magic?
Diana plugs in a small white Christmas tree. The room is illumined by the Christmas lights, but still dimly lit. The lights create a magical effect. Kathleen is putting up Christmas decorations with Diana, Cutter, and Alice. The teddy bear is attached to the top of the tree, where the star usually goes. She wears a Santa dress and hat.
I love the holidays. I love decorating. La 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 la
I
la.
would think decking the halls would be the last thing on your mind right now. Dr. Kathleen.
Diana crosses out of the scene upstage to a table where she prepares minutes for the meeting. At the same time, Carter crosses to the cupboard and brings out a bottle of red wine, some plastic glasses, and pours drinks for everyone.
Merry Christmas. Here's to you, Kat. Here's to getting your master's early and starting the doctoral program at Yale. Cheers. To Kathleen.
Hey, and maybe you can infiltrate Skull and Bones. Find out what they're really doing in the dark.
This will be our last Christmas together. And a little nostalgic already.
You'll get over it. Trust me. You're moving on to what we all aspire to do. You're just doing it earlier than the rest of us. Sheena,
Stop.
I mean, we all consider ourselves genius, but you're a gelding prodigy.
You're both cruising for a bruising.
it's true. You're everything a Sentinel is supposed to be.
I'm not sure about everything.
Now you're being modest. Got a maid in the shade, young lady. The world better watch out.
But besides all of you, I just hate having to leave my research team in the middle of our work.
Polio vaccine, right?
Right. I've been working on the lead research team, but there's something missing in the research. It's frustrating. We're so close. We've been hearing that the Russians may have information that could help us finish the vaccine, but with east-west tensions and communism scares everywhere, we aren't able to communicate with anyone in Moscow, and that has caused major delays with the research. And now I'm leaving with so much still unresolved.
Who needs the Russians? We can figure it out on our own.
Don't be so sure, Carter. The Russian scientists are as eager as we are to find a cure. If only the power-hungry politicians would stay out of our way. People are people all over the world, and most of us are good, I say, the Russian people included.
So goody two-shoes, Kathleen. All people are not good.
I believe they are. It's greed that twists us all up and buries the simple truth in the weeds.
You look like a beatnik and now you sound like one. I dig it.
And you sound like a bit of a conformist. Those Russian scientists are humans working as hard as we are. Dig that.
I don't trust them. Consider my quiet roommate and fellow Sentinel, Margaret, for instance. She's been pulling all-nighters for days, and last night she muttered something about Russians in the sleep. I mean, what's that about? No one knows who to trust anymore.
What on earth are you talking about? You're too smart to be listening to that paranoid propaganda.
Beware the red menace.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Margaret suddenly burst into the room carrying a bag with homemade ham radio.
Look what I've got.
A ham radio?
Where'd you get that? I made it. I've been pulling all-nighters for days trying to get it working.
See?
See what?
Yeah, never mind her, Margaret. You're amazing.
Thanks. This little ham is going to allow us to talk to Moscow. It's good because our dome room is so high, and by my calculations, in just a few minutes, we will be in alignment with a satellite that will allow us to connect with our fellow scientists.
This is so awesome.
How do you know the details about the satellite?
Why are you so interested in connecting us to Moscow all of a sudden? You're not even doing polio research.
Well, I knew with my skills I could help Kathleen and her team, so I did.
Are you sure you're not a spy in the sky?
You're looking scarier and scarier by the minute, Margaret.
Oh, stop joking around, you two.
Who's joking? You were talking about Russians in your sleep last night and muttering something about remote viewing.
Monitoring my dreams, were you? Now who's a spy?
Don't change the subject. It does look suspicious.
The only thing suspicious about it are your paranoid, suspicious minds. I hear Senator Joe McCarthy is putting something together you might enjoy.
The House Un-American Activities Committee, you mean? Oh, I've heard about it, and yes, I'm scared. We all have the hydrogen bomb now, including the Ruskies.
Put a lid on it, Carter.
From upstage, Diana, who's been mostly silent, is furious. In her anger, she unintentionally knocks the ladder down and almost hits Kathleen.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, not chocolate, a frosty.
Oh, fudge.
Margaret isn't the secret Russian in the Sentinels. I am. Pozucholiesta frosty menu.
You were right. You don't know who you can
I
trust.
knew I wasn't paranoid. Sorry, Margaret.
I'm starting to feel a bit paranoid myself.
I'm confused.
Russian secrets right under our noses and not one of us saw it. Wake up, Sentinel, the Red Scare is upon us.
I'm trying to remember everything I said to you in private.
Make like a tree and leave Diana or whatever your name is. What a turd.
Wait, please, you have it all wrong.
Oh, really? You're not a Russian?
Yes, I'm Russian,
Case closed.
but I'm not a spy.
Well, if you're not a spy, why are you here? To compromise our work?
I would never do anything to hurt the Sentinels.
It just hurts knowing that you've lied to us all this time, no matter what the reason.
Is there a logical reason, Diana? Please tell us there is.
I admit, I've been keeping secrets,
Russian secrets. I knew it.
but it's not what you think. I promise.
I'm not sure your promises mean much now.
I love the Sentinels. I love Lux. I love all of you, but I've been so afraid to tell you.
Tell us what?
I'll tell you that I'm Russian.
We already know that.
Well, and so are my parents and my grandparents, and we all live together in a small house on the east side. We're so lucky to get together. We were so lucky to get out when we did. Stalin was embarrassed that so many artists and scientists wanted to immigrate. He tightened the borders so that just getting out was risky business. But we made it here. God sent, or so we thought.
What's that supposed to mean? Or so you thought. America's not good enough?
It's not that. But we realized we weren't wanted here either, and we sure didn't fit in. I had to take lessons to get rid of my accent.
Isn't that what spies do? Just saying.
Carter, please, zip it.
So much distrust and fear. Been singled out as dangerous. They're arresting us, executing citizens for even talking to Russians. I thought if the school found out, I'd lose my scholarship. They think I was just another immigrant looking for a handout. That scholarship is everything. My whole family is relying on me and that scholarship. I mean no harm.
Let's hope you didn't do any then.
We all have secrets. Everyone lives 3 lives, public, private, and secret. And guess what? There are no secrets that time does not reveal. It's true for you, and now it's true for me. I have a secret. No one knows it except the few who can help me.
May I have a drum roll, please?
Oh, stop it, Alice. You're so Mickey Mouse. Be serious for once. Sorry, Kathleen. Please continue.
I have a daughter named Kate. She's 6 years old. I had her when I was 16.
Wait. Not possible. Not even remotely. I've known you since freshman year. That's 4.5 years. No way.
Didn't you ever wonder why I wasn't living in the dorm?
I wondered. I just figured you had your reasons.
What reasons?
I don't know. I thought maybe you were claustrophobic, but I never in a million years thought it was because you had a child. My God, you really are a genius mastermind. To heck with the meeting. This is way more interesting. Please tell us more.
His name was Keith, and he was my high school sweetheart. I fell in love with him when I heard him sing "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning" in the school musical Oklahoma. We had a lot of sex in the backseat of his Buick. It was a real passion pit. It had my name written on the dashboard, Kathleen. It was fun. So much fun, in fact, that I got pregnant and my parents pretty much disowned me.
What is it with parents? They spend our teens worried about us getting pregnant, and then when we're 20, they worry that we don't. I, for one, am not having kids. I want to bring kids into this mess anyway.
To hide their shame, they shipped me off to a maternity home in Oconomowoc. It was like a shame-filled prison where they censored our mail. No visitors were allowed. We had to use fake names, and caseworkers practiced mind control to get us to give up our babies for adoption. They called us fallen women and morally bankrupt. Some of us were even classified wayward and insane and committed to mental institutions and lobotomized. I'm sure you've heard those horror stories.
I heard those stories, but never thought they were true.
Oh, they're true, all right. Thankfully, that was not my fate. They told us our children would be called bastards, that we were not worthy, not responsible, and not able to care for them. People think we willingly gave up our babies, but this is not true. During the time I was there, not one adult ever told me I had a right to keep my baby. What happened next? I mean, not to give up my baby for adoption. I'd wanted to be a mother since I was little. There was nothing those caseworkers could say to me that would make me change my mind. I knew I was worthy and responsible and morally just fine. I was determined to get out, away from my parents, away from that place, away. And I did.
But how? And how did you get here? On a scholarship, no less. She's a prodigy, remember?
Well, it certainly didn't hurt. Because unlike many of my fellow sinners, I found a way to keep my baby, find a job, find a roof over our heads, and make a plan.
And what about Keith?
You never knew. My parents saw that.
So how did you survive at 16 with a newborn?
Well, as Tennessee Williams says, I relied on the kindness of strangers. I was friends with one of the girls in there, and like me, she wanted to keep her baby. I don't know how she did it, but she convinced her parents to come get her. That was my chance. She told them my plight, and they took pity on me, and I lived with them until I had my sweet Kate.
Did your parents come looking for you?
Maybe. I don't know. Sure didn't want them to find me. I laid low, and for the next 2 years, I worked as a nanny for one sweet little girl. My employer let me bring Kate with me, so while they played and napped, I read medical books, the entire Encyclopedia Britannica, and whatever else I could get my hands on. I was finally able to get on my feet, find my own little place, finish high school, get a scholarship to Lux, and now I'm on my way to Yale.
I should be angry you kept such a huge secret from us all this time, but not. I'm oddly proud of you.
Thanks, Carter, but I didn't tell the story for that. I tell it to remind us to keep our eye on the prize and remember what's important. Diana is not unique in keeping secrets. In fact, I want to know your secrets. The terrible ones, the embarrassing ones, the ones you never told anyone. And don't pretend you don't have any. Alice, you first, go.
Okay. I'm a bit of a klepto. I like to steal small things from department stores, like ornaments and lights. Margaret?
I cheated on a homework assignment once.
Only one.
Very funny. I had a devious strategy and believe it or not, it worked. The homework was due that day, but it wasn't finished. I went to class anyway. At the end of class, the professor told everyone to hand in their papers. I was sitting in the back, so he couldn't tell if I'd passed the paper up. I went home, finished the paper, went back to the classroom later in the evening after classes were over and no one was around. I dropped the paper on the floor, stepped on it a few times to scuff it up, then left it outside the door and hoped some good Samaritan would find it in the morning and turn it in, thinking the professor had dropped it.
Did you make the grade?
Yep, I got an A in Ethics 101. Carter?
Charming. Okay. I've never said this out loud before, except to my psychiatrist. Once upon a time, it was Christmas, like now. My parents took me to a party at my uncle's house. There was always a lot of drinking on that side of my family. My mother didn't like a lot of my father's relatives. Anyway, it was getting late and loud, so I went upstairs to their bedroom to take a nap. I was about 10. I was just drifting off to sleep when the door quietly opened and my cousin, who was about 18, came into the room, sat on the bed, stared at my sleeping body, and molested me.
So sorry that happened to you, Carter.
Tale as old as time.
What did your parents do?
I never told them. I was too young, too confused, and too petrified to tell anyone. It's been my secret. It feels good to finally put it out there.
We're glad you did.
She reaches out her hands to Carter. The other women join in as friends do. The gesture turns into hugging, then a group hug. A healing hug as women do.
Your secrets are safe in this room. We all have secrets. We're all the same in that way. And Diana, being Russian is not the worst thing in the world. What's important is that we're all dedicated to the mission. We're all Sentinels. Agreed?
Agreed. Now let's see if we can connect to our fellow scientists in the USSR and find a cure.
Right. The moment is not lost on me. Sorry, Diana. Your secret is safe.
Merci beaucoup. And yours is safe with me.
Not so sure about Margaret, though. Cheating.
Was it really cheating? I mean, I did the work. It was just a little late is all. I was being creative.
Definitely creative, Max. Just like Diana. Keeping secrets in order to succeed. I know firsthand how isolating that can feel. But we're all Sentinels here, including Diana. And we're definitely stronger together. And a lot less alone.
What's our motto?
Silent no more.
With chalk, she writes on the inside of the dome in Latin.
Virtus nostra in diversitate nostra est.
It's almost time. Open the dome.
They watch. The dome opens slowly and the ham radio crackles to life. End of scene.
Not much happened in 47.
A janitor enters with a broom, sweeps up the front of the stage. He puts down the broom and crosses to the secret cupboard upstage. He pulls a small teddy bear dressed as Rosie the Riveter out of his pocket and sets it on a table. He reaches his hand way in the cabinet and brings out a bottle of rum and a glass, pours a drink, toasts the bear, swings it down in celebration of World War II victories. Kisses the little bear, puts it into the cupboard along with the bottle, and exits, sleeping as he goes. Scene 6, August 1945, Lavada. Lights up on the dusty dome roof. which is free of clutter as it had not been used for 2 years. A few pieces of classroom furniture, some stacked chairs covered in white canvas, drop cloths remain. We hear the upstage door slowly open. Verna, Lydia, and Dot peer in. They have spent the day cleaning the classroom in Rumbic Hall to prepare for the new semester.
Holy mackerel, this place is magical.
Could say that again, Verna.
Holy mackerel, this place is magical.
Magical and mysterious.
Really good. Don't be too bossy in bed. Never pretend you're his intellectual equal. Always pretend you're a virgin. And don't ask for a fur coat or a new refrigerator right after sex. In fact, don't speak at all for at least 15 to 30 minutes right after sex. That's so incredibly helpful. It's hot off the presses if anyone wants to borrow it when I'm done.
Okay, so you think khaki wacky dreamboats aside, there really is an unexplained feeling in here. Maybe not the ghost of Mrs. Muir, but a whole lot of memories and history still lingering in the atmosphere of this place.
Thank you, Madame Blavatsky.
May I just say, I'm so proud to be here. Even if we did have to spend the day cleaning Rumbic Hall, it's the start of a new semester, girls, and we have scholarships.
How many regular dames in 1945 could say that?
So what if we have to do a little housekeeping for those scholarships? I'm used to that anyway, being a cowgirl from the wilds of Tomahawk, Wisconsin. I'm used to cleaning a lot worse than Rumbic Hall, believe you me.
That goes for the rest of us Midwestern heifers.
Hey, who you calling a heifer? I stopped eating cheese curds just to look this sexy for the boys.
Are you kidding? I would never give up cheese curds for anybody. Victory is ours.
And someday there will be a lot more than 5 scholarships for women at Lux University. Where's Marge and Carolyn?
They am straight over to the admin office for some reason. They should be back soon.
I hope Carolyn isn't angry with me that we came in here without her.
You came in here without.
She don't have to bite my head off.
But we agreed.
I know, sorry. I have a hunch she'll never let me forget it either.
Not a chance. May I remind you again that I know all about this room? I actually had an astronomy class in here 2 years ago. It was probably the last class to ever be held in here. Now it'll just be used for storage.
Now, what's this large shape on the floor?
So there used to be a telescope here. Check this out.
She pushes a button, and the black inner dome folds down on itself to reveal a white outer shell.
There are actually 2 domes. Allow me.
She opens the second dome. The bright afternoon sun streams in. They all take in the amazing sight.
Wowza.
Scott immediately climbs up to the second level scaffold and begins to draw a cartoon.
Boy, oh boy, Dad, where did you learn to clean like that?
My father's a fireman.
Where do your big brains come from?
My dad has brains, but being a farm boy from Wisconsin with 12 siblings, he was never able to get formally educated. And he's just naturally smart. And do you know someone like that? When I was growing up, he always had a private stash of books on astronomy, physics, his favorite topics, Egyptology, archaeology. He kept them in his closet under a trapdoor in the floor. I used to take a flashlight and sit in there in the dark, poring over them like someone obsessed.
Why does he hide them?
My mother thinks Egyptology is sacrilegious and she just throws them away if she finds them. It's a miracle they've stayed married for so long, but love is blind and he just laughs it off and buys more banned books on her list and finds better hiding places. There were medical books in there too, which came in very handy when I was 12 and needed to learn about boys. I taught myself to read and write hieroglyphics in the closet.
Wowza is right, Dad. You're such an ace. I'm a little jealous of your brilliance. Where are my Lauren Bacall sunglasses? It's getting bright in here.
Save it. It'll be real ace in a few years. Still so much to learn. I have big dreams of being an archaeologist someday.
I could read hieroglyphics.
It took me years of tracing in the dark. The original form of writing. All other writing evolved from glyphs.
What's that you're drawing?
That's a cartouche for a female pharaoh who had one of the most successful reigns in Egypt, 3,000-year-old history. Her tomb was discovered in 1922.
Female pharaoh, did you say?
Yes. Her name was Hatshepsut. Say it, invoke her name. She might show up.
Hatshepsut.
She lived 1,400 years before Cleopatra and was way more significant.
Why have I never heard of her?
Because, for one, you don't have my father's library, and two, because Hatshepsut was nearly erased from history. All evidence of her successful, prosperous reign destroyed. Her statues torn down, her monuments defaced, and her name was removed from the official king's list.
Why?
Seriously, Verna, that surprises you. She was an outstanding pharaoh, but when do women ever get credit for anything? Once she was pharaoh, she changed her name to Makre, which literally means goddess of truth. These glyphics are sacred, originally used to carve inscriptions on temple walls.
Are you saying the dome is a temple?
I think I am.
Really?
I believe Hatshepsut is here. She wants me to say this in a sacred place, especially for us, the 5 of us.
The 5 of us? What does that mean? What's so special about us?
We have scholarships for one thing. I officially christened this dome at Lux University, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, sacred. It will be our secret temple.
It's ours, right? No one knows about it.
Except maybe the janitor.
We can gather here, late at night in secret, and strategize our future.
Why in secret?
We have more power in secret. We remain invisible like we always have, and now Makre, goddess of truth, will always watch over us.
Hatshepsut.
She's gone. First place I'm going where the war is over is to her tomb, in the Valley of the Kings. Say, listen, I've already carved our cartouche on the dome, so why don't we all carve our initials and christen it properly? I've got my handy dandy Swiss Army knife, so we'll have to do it one by one.
Through this scene, the director will decide when the next girl goes up to the ladder, crouch or nickels. They can speak when inscribing. Shown as you've done, Berta says, how are we gonna do that?
Oh, golly, before I forget, how was everyone's summer?
I was dreaming of Egypt, of course, but I spent the summer at home working in the perfume department at Woolworths. Have you tried Les Muses Madame? Oh. It's a cologne that will inspire all the boys to go crazy for you.
That sounds okay by me. Wait, where are the boys? It's been 4 years already. I'll be an old maid at 22 before I get married.
How is it possible that one evil man with one evil idea almost destroyed the entire world?
This is why we need more women at the table making decisions.
A woman's touch is what's needed, and I intend to put my fingerprints on everything I possibly can.
You think the boys will let you?
Let them try and stop me. Did you see Princess Elizabeth on the royal balcony celebrating V-Day in Europe? She's going to be queen someday. Think of that. A woman on the throne again.
Speaking of Europe, I'm so relieved at least some of our boys will be coming home soon.
Oh, they'll be coming home sooner than you think.
Orange Church City crying and carrying the newspaper. She holds it to the headline. Peace at last, Japan surrenders. All the women spontaneously start screaming, hugging and dancing for joy, victory, peace at last. The boys will soon be coming home. The day is left.
Oh, I need a drink.
Are you legal?
I'm 20 and a half.
Close enough, it's okay. And as a former Girl Scout of legal age, I'm prepared.
She pulls plastic cups, a bottle of Coke, opener, and sustainers out of her purse. She crosses upstage to a hidden cupboard, opens it, puts her hand in and pulls out the teddy bear. She kisses it, puts her hand in again and locates the bottle of rum. She crosses back.
It's the janitor's. I'm sure he won't mind. He's my dad. Our secret is safe with him.
She sings.
If you ever go down to Trinidad, they make you feel so very glad. Calypso sing and make up rhyme, guarantee you one real good fine time. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola.
They call it vintage while Margaret opens the Coke and pours out the drink for everyone. Once everyone's served, Margaret turns the radio, throws streamers in the air, holds the teddy bear. They raise their glasses, clink and swing it down. They start a conga line and dance around the stage with the teddy bear cracking jokes.
Out of all the enemy leaders during World War II, who could run with the most speed?
Mussolini, because he was the fascist.
What did the Nazi do after World War II?
To the war to end all wars. For good this time.
We can, we will, we must.
We can do it.
They can't deny us anymore. The country depended on us and we came through.
We were the link that broke the chain, that lived in the house that war built.
Welders,
Shipbuilders, airplane mechanics,
Engineers,
Biologists,
computer programmers.
frequency hopping.
Thank you, Hetty Lamar.
we found out we can do anything.
we did things no one thought we could.
Amen, sisters. The grass is getting greener. We're beginning to see the light.
I'm going to book my passage to Egypt. Hot chip soup, here I come. One more semester and I am out of here. I can see it now. Introducing Dot from Sister Bay, Wisconsin. Adventurer, archaeologist, discoverer of new worlds.
But you're a history major.
I know. But I'm also hungry to get out in that dark closet and explore the world. The door is open, a crack, and I'm gonna run through it. Come what may.
Give me a job in journalism. That's what I want. I'm a good writer and I want to write. They have to let us in. We're 3.8% of the workforce now and we ain't going back. We've earned our place.
I don't know. Any women who are willingly going back, being housewives. I know I'm not. Now that I've had a taste of real independence,
Nothing wrong with being a housewife. With a degree, of course.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it, just wrong for me.
Now things can go back to being normal. I can start planning my wedding.
Lydia, don't be so naive. How can anything ever go back to be normal again?
What's normal anyway? I mean, we just dropped 2 atomic bombs. 140,000 dead in Hiroshima. Another 74,000 dead in Nagasaki. Ground temperatures reached 4,000 degrees centigrade and radioactive rain poured down. You think things are going back to normal?
It won the war, didn't it?
It won the war, but is it winning?
Will we ever feel safe again?
I feel safe again. As soon as my fella comes home and takes me in his arms.
That's sweet, Lydia. But nuclear Armageddon is in our reality and our dreams now. It's gonna take a lot more than a hug from a man to make me feel safe again.
I heard Einstein say if he had to do it over again, he would have become a plumber.
Stop. I don't want to hear any more of that kind of talk, even from Einstein. We did what had to be done, and I, for one, am grateful. War is over. My baby boy is coming home, and I want my white dress made of parachute silk and tulle lace, my mother's veil, my house in the suburbs, and my 6.5 kids.
6 kids? I didn't know you were Catholic.
I'm not Catholic. My mother died giving birth to me. It left a terrible hole in our family, and I suppose I want to make up for that.
That's news.
Not something most people want to hear. She was 40 in 1921. She'd already raised a family. I have 2 brothers who are 20 years older. I was a total mistake, a surprise, and I was the death of her, even though abortion was legal in these United States in 1921.
I'm sorry for your loss, Lydia.
It's a long time ago, but I've dreamed of having a big family since I was a kid. I do not need to go off by myself to prove anything to anyone.
And what about your degree? You're just gonna waste it?
I just said I want to write. I can win a Pulitzer in journalism writing on my back porch. I can protest and change things right here in Milwaukee. I do not have to travel to Egypt to do it. Just the thought of traipsing through the desert sands by myself gives me palpitations. I can kiss my sweetie and tuck my little one, all 6.5 of them, in bed at night and still change the world.
Okay, Cookie, don't flip your wig. But I've got a lot more in my mind than home economics and decorating. We wouldn't be in this mess if there were more women at the table. And I do not mean the dinner table.
She throws the newspaper in the air. As the pages settle down, it opens to the photos of the Allied leaders. She bends down and scans through the photos.
Look at this. All these wealthy old men making all the decisions. Roosevelt, Churchill, Stalin, Chiang Kai-shek.
Audie Murphy isn't old.
Don't be fresh. You know what I'm talking about. There wasn't one woman in the room. Not one woman was ever instrumental in bringing any war to an end.
Well, there were those who helped.
Yes, they were used for their intelligence and then sent back home when they weren't needed anymore. Name one woman that was in any room where anything actually happened.
So what can we do about it?
We'll have our degrees. That's what we can do about it. Use them. On your porch if you must, but don't let anyone stop you. There are 5 of us here with the brain power of unimaginable strength and creativity. Don't underestimate what we can do if we don't give up. The time is now. The door is open. We need to run through it, like I said, before the boys figure out what we're doing.
You know they'll try to exclude us at every turn. They've still got all that power, all the money, and they don't seem particularly keen on sharing it. In fact, we've all been ordered to go back home because our sacrifices would be needed only for the duration. And now we're being accused of taking the jobs away from the men.
I can sort of see that.
It's your funeral, Lydia. I, for one, am joining the Women's Army Corps, WAC for short. There's a place for a girl like me, and they're recruiting right now, even if the war is over.
What do you mean a girl like you?
Oh, come on, Steph, open your eyes. You know exactly what I mean. Do I have to say it out loud? I will. I'm damn ready to. The Army wants a girl like me. They think we'll make excellent military material. Shoot, they don't call me Rosie the Riveter's twin for nothing.
Okay, girls, let's get back to what we've all been saying. Whether we stay at home or go out into the field with these degrees, we can all pave new paths for women. Continue to break down barriers, speak our truth, and definitely work to make the world a better place for everyone.
We're gonna sneak in the back door and surprise the jabbers out of them. They will not see us coming. Because they're not looking for us. Who takes women seriously? We're invisible, right?
We'll create a world for ourselves, for our daughters, our granddaughters, and all future generations of women who come after us.
It may take another 25 years, 50 even.
Let's take a vow right here under this sacred dome to ensure that there is a woman at the table where all important decisions are made. That's the goal.
Look how we're being inspired. I knew this was a mysterious and magical place. Now blessed by Hatshepsut and christened by us.
With this vow, we are creating a secret sisterhood right here at Lux University.
You mean a secret society, like Skull and Bones at Yale?
Why not? Only instead of the Brotherhood of Death, we could be the sisterhood for a brighter future.
I need details.
Let's think about this. Secret society dedicated to the idea of complete freedom and intellectual advancement for women.
Those are big ideas.
It's 1945. The war is over. It's time for big ideas.
A sisterhood committed to higher education, helping each other achieve in all fields, medicine, art, science, business, and getting women positioned wherever important decisions are being made.
How many do we allow into the secret sisterhood?
Well, there are 5 of us on scholarships. Maybe we stick to 5. That's a manageable number to ensure it's kept secret. And besides, Hatshepsut specifically said 5.
They have to be the best of the best Lux has to offer.
5 brilliant women, all working in secret under cover of night, dedicated to this mission. And from our perch in this old, now sacred astronomy lab, we will watch over the college and beyond.
Who's Erin?
Yeah.
I'll do it. What should we call it?
I got the perfect name. Sentinel.
Oh, I love that. Yes, to watch over, stand guard.
With this name, we are honoring those brave suffragettes, the ones who won the vote for the rest of us by putting their bodies in harm's way. The silent sentinels. Here's to Alice, Paul, and Lucy Burns.
To Alice, Paul, and Lucy Burns.
Who is Alice, Paul, and Lucy Burns?
Fierce fighters for women's suffrage who both served time in jail.
Here's to the 168 who were force-fed and tortured.
Force-fed, tortured, what are you talking about?
November 14th, 1917, also known as the Night of Terror, when, before their release, they were all simultaneously beaten unmercifully in their jail cells by President Woodrow Wilson and his gang of prison thugs. Also, from my dad's library, November 14th, 1917, 168 women were beaten unmercifully and tortured in these United States just to win the right to vote.
I'm in.
Oh, I got it. Silent no more. That will be our motto.
Wait a minute. I feel a presence. Yes, yes, I have it. We pledge to speak up, dream big, disagree, act courageously, and infiltrate. Like Julia McWilliams? Who is? Look it up.
Then share this information with the next generation. And little by little, step by step, we will make an impact.
Sometimes the slowest horse is the best.
Why does everything take so damn long?
To us.
To us,
To the Sentinels. Silent no more.
End of scene. Night slowly fades. Scene 7. December 1999, the great conclusion. Next up with the group, in exact same positions where they left it. Michael stops filming, turns off the lights. He's astounded and dumbstruck. The sheer scope of the Sentinel's history is staggering. In his awe, he begins to cry. No one comforts him. He starts putting things away to cope with his feelings. He pulls out a tissue, dries his face.
Quite a story. I couldn't help but think of my daughter and her enormous strength and passion. It's stronger, possibly, than I'd ever realized.
The stories you heard are just the tip of the iceberg.
I don't understand. The importance of this group, the monumental work that has been done through the years, why end it? Why not just have the meeting somewhere else?
We brought you here because you have the platform to tell our story. Just because the Sentinels are ending here at Lux University doesn't mean that the movement ends. In fact, it's just beginning. There are so many women at the table now. Mission accomplished, I'd say.
Our time in this sacred space might be over, but our work is not over by a long shot, just still incomplete. Hopefully this doc and yes, okay, I'm on board.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hopefully the doc will gather enough interest to save the dome and all our precious history.
9 months is not a lot of time to get our story filmed, premiered, and the dome saved.
Some fun with the Sentinels, afraid of a little pressure.
Michael, how long, or should I say, how short a time before we could realistically be ready for a campus premiere?
We kill ourselves 3 months. We can start making promotional materials right away, so we're ready to go once the doc is in the can.
And the can, that's so Hollywood. I'm starting to get amped.
Alice moves to the side of the room and presses the button on the wall.
Silent no more.
The inner dome opens, revealing the outer dome. It's a glorious sight. Every bit of the Sentinel's history and then some is etched into or hung from the dome's walls. It's absolutely breathtaking. The dome is a witness to human history, Latin phrases, hieroglyphs, math formulas, White House floor plans, Roman phrases. Our strength is in our diversity. Female world leaders with stars in their names. There's a stunning reflection of world history created by the Sentinels.
Oh, wow.
You're the first male to ever see this.
Honored.
You can come back and take photos and talk more about filming schedules and even get more stories, but now we need to finish our meeting. Sorry, no men allowed.
Okay, sure.
He walks to the door, but turns back to the girls.
I told you my daughter is a senior fellow at Princeton. She's working on a cure for breast cancer. She has it, by the way, but no one knows about it.
You know,
What?
we're a big network, Michael. Sentinels are everywhere, all over the world now. Of course, we know about such important research. What we didn't know was that you were Valerie's father. Not sure how we missed that. Wake up, Sentinels.
I think she would make a wonderful Sentinel.
She's already a Sentinel at heart. She's our legacy. Now, if you'll excuse us,
Whatever I can do to help.
you're already doing it. You and Valerie.
I'll share your story with her tonight, but I know it's not mine. It's yours and hers. Anything you need. I'm here for you. I'll be in touch as soon as I process what we filmed today. So much more to tell. It's been a privilege. Silent no more.
He Grace begins to sing a simple melody, what we now recognize as the Sentinel's theme, the song that has been played between each of the scenes. One by one, the others join in, singing louder and fuller until it's a complete chorus. Suddenly, names, photos start to fade in and out around the room. They are the past Sentinels, or women who walked with them or benefited from them. Bazar Bruto, Marian Anderson, Sandra Day O'Connor. The Sentinels take their seats at the circular table.
I now declare the final meeting of the Sentinels at Lux University adjourned.
We made a difference, didn't we?
Of course we did. How can you even ask? We moved the needle. And if you can move it even a millionth of an inch, you've got a chance.
Onward and upward, Sentinels.
She hits the gavel on the table, which echoes throughout the space.
Silent no more.
Light from the Sentinels fade, while the brilliant lights flood the dome for an instant, then lights fade to black. End of play.
Let's take a quick little break. Come back.
Yeah. Yes.
Stretch.
Plastic.
And cookies here, everybody. Take a little.
Sustenance.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
I didn't do that.
I think I saw you at Sweden.
Yo.
Like, yeah, but I spent time with you, and so
Like truly.
it's really before you're 6 months.
Yeah, so that was like September. Where did that go? Yeah. We're talking on Saturday.
Well, fantastic. He started tech for
I'm so excited. I went to the I'm so excited.
If I have a whole thought, I should write it down.
It's and what they kind of
Yes.
very sweet.
Yeah. That's like the hardest. Oh, sure. We moved to Norway.
Okay.
Not that far. I knew my students, they was in preparation.
Did you get the white chocolate?
I was like,
I was like, it's gonna be really rough if we live in a city and I gotta every day, because now you're like all red.
Yeah.
I was like, I literally waste it, like with my legs away. I read it. You're not that far.
yeah.
Are you making notes, Amy?
I have all of
Yeah.
And like, like that, and
Like,
like,
you're fast, like the fourth and straight shot. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like, right. Just really on the day to day. For sure. And then for sure.